from time to time. I'll check in with him on the radio later and see how he's doing. Let's see. Checking YouTube. YouTube is quiet. Looks like we have folks watching on YouTube, but someone's watching on YouTube. And it's kind of quiet everywhere around here tonight on this Saturday night. We do have people watching. If you're watching, please, well, we do have folks watching. If you're watching, please chime in the chat. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your week went, and talk to me. It's an open chat tonight. It's an open chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this wine again. This is the Monterustico. It's a Piemonte. It's an Italian wine. It's a Rosso. It's a 2017. I'm going to read the back of this label a little bit. We have the back here. And on the back, it says Monterustico Piemonte. Rosso 2017. It says, at the foot of Monviso from the famous region of Piemonte in Italy comes this exquisite red blend. Monterustico invites you to enjoy this journey of beauty, where wine, nature, and art meet to create something special. They didn't really tell me a whole lot about the wine itself, did it? But it is bottled by G.D. Vara in Barolo, Italy, and it is imported by Pacific Highway Wines and Spirits in American Canyon, California. It is an Italian red wine, product of Italy, and it is 13.5% alcohol by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle of wine. So that's what we've got right here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and open this bottle of wine because, you know what, I'm in the mood for some wine tonight. So let's go ahead and open it up. I have my trusty foil cutter here. Oh, boy, that slipped. There we go. Foil away. And then I'm going to open it with I'm going to pull the cork out with my trusty mechanical corkscrew. And hopefully this comes right out. Yep, it sure does. Look at that. Amazing. All right, I'll take the cork out later. And to pour it out of the bottle, we have my trusty Veneto aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set, which you can purchase it from AMAZON. That's as far as I'm going with that. We gave a couple of these away a couple of years ago. All right, and then to hold the grape nectar, I have my trusty Galway Genuine Irish Crystal Glass from Ireland, given to me by my employers at buytwoway.radios.com. Yeah, that was a slip-up I almost made a little while ago. I'll explain that a little bit, maybe. Okay, let me set this aside for just a moment. All right, so we have this red nectar, this grape nectar, and I'm getting a few waves of aromas there. But let's set it aside, give it a chance to open up because it just took it out of the bottle, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes to open up. And while it's opening up, let's learn a little bit more about this wine. Now, I searched around online. Like I said, this was a gift. So it wasn't like I went out and purchased the wine or searched around for it or hunted around for it to find it. It was when it was gifted to me. I really didn't know anything about this wine. So I did a little bit of searching around. I didn't even know what the cost was on this wine because it was a gift. But I searched around. I found a place called Upper Wine in Sacriana, and they had some information on the wine. And according to their website, which I'm sort of paraphrasing here, it's a product of the Vara Vineyard, located in Vergne, the highest village in the municipality of Barolo. Now, I did read that. We did read that on the back of the label. That's about all we got from this wine on the back of the label. Now, according to what it says here on the site, they are growing Nebbiolo, Dolcetto, and Barbera. So those grapes. Now, I don't know if they're using all those grapes in there. I really don't know. But they're mentioning the winemakers, Molino and Aldo Vieira. and they've been managing the family estate since I guess since the 1970s. And now their sons, Giuseppe and Isidoro, are gradually taking the reins. I'm reading this from their website now. Gradually taking the reins while perpetuating the same work ethic of their wines. Now I'm looking at some technical notes. There is a PDF. I didn't download the PDF, but according to the technical details, it is. Let's see. It's a 2017. Okay, here are the details. And those grapes, all three of those grapes, are in there in various amounts. It's a varietal. It has 40% Barbera, 40% Dolcetto, and 20% Nebbiolo. So that is what's in this wine. 40, 40, and 20. That comes up to 100%. Okay, that adds up. So 13.5% alcohol by volume, 750 milliliter bottle. So it sounds like it should be a pretty good wine. I checked around a few other places, and Wine Searcher had it listed for $20.99 a bottle. I have no idea what my friend paid for it. I really don't. He didn't tell me. But on Vivino, they had it listed for $13.99 a bottle. So somewhere between $14 and $20 a bottle, I guess, is what it costs. I'm guessing. It gets a 3.7 rating out of 5 stars, 146 ratings on Vivino. So we'll give this a whiff. We'll try it out, and as a matter of fact, let's try it out now. Give it a little swirl. It's got a few legs to it, I think. Yeah. All right, let's give it a whiff. Cherry on the nose, and a little bit of raspberry. Mostly red fruit in here, I think. But I'm also getting a hint of something else. What is that? Mostly cherry, though, and raspberry mixed. Let's give it a taste. Unexpectedly, a lot of cherry. Not unexpectedly, I mean. A lot of cherry. Raspberry. There is some raspberry. There are a couple of red fruits in here. Maybe a hint of strawberry, too. It does taste like there's a little plum in there, too. And I'm getting some vanilla. I am getting some vanilla in here. It is a little on the earthy side. And it has a long finish. It has a very long finish to it. And there's a little bit of alcohol in there. Not a lot, but a hint of alcohol coming up in that finish. Not bad. So far, the first tasting was actually quite good, I think. Let's see. Let's try a little bit more of this. It kind of looks like a, medium to medium bold wine from the looks. And it tastes a little bold. Not super bold. It's not like bold like some of the wines we had a few weeks ago. This is not bad. It's somewhat tannic. A lot of tannin in this wine. There's a lot of tannin. Not too much. It's not overly tannic, but there's enough in there that probably goes pretty well with that pizza if it's not too cold to eat now. But it is it's a fairly dry wine. It is a fairly dry wine. But yeah, not bad. But it is a bit earthy. It's a bit earthy. I'll tell you what, we're going to pair it with some foods here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do that. But before we do, let's go ahead and check the chats again. And go back to the chats for just a moment. And let's see, anyone else going on in the chat? I've got to scroll here on the side, otherwise I'm just going to miss everything. Okay, my lovely wife, she says cheese is unexpected. So it is the unexpected cheddar with parm. And my good friend Nancy is in the chat. Tom and Nancy say looks good. And well, I'm glad you're here. Tom and Nancy, are both of you watching, or it's just Tom, or just Nancy, or Tom and Nancy? I'm glad to see you here. And Nancy says hi, Chi. Well, by the way, can I say where this came from? This came from you, didn't it? I didn't mention my friend by name, but I believe this was gifted to you by you and Nancy, I believe, right? Can I say that? by Tom and Nancy? Anyway, here's to Tom and Nancy. It's actually quite good, by the way, so far. I think it needs to open up a little bit more because I drank it, just opened up the bottle, didn't give it really a chance to breathe and get the oxygen chance to get in there a little bit. I think as it opens up a little more, I think this might be a little bit smoother. It might be a little bit smoother than it is at the moment. And it is fairly tannic, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. A lot of tannins are good for certain foods. And we're going to try that in just a few moments. Before we do that, let me check on Twitch. Any action going on Twitch? Kind of quiet on Twitch tonight. Interesting. Very interesting. And quiet on YouTube. So let's go back to Facebook for the moment. And, yep. And she says, hi, Nancy. All right, let's go take a look go to camera 3. We're going to go camera 3, and I'm going to try it. This should go good with some red meat. I think it would. But we're going to try it first. I've got my little hors d'oeuvre fork here. I'm going to try it first with a burger. We had some burger tonight, and that's what I'm going to eat it with now. This is actually quite a good burger. A little cold now. This has been sitting up here in the studio for about 30 minutes now. Still good. And it's smoky. It has a smoky, it's a grilled burger. Smoky taste. Okay, brings out the smokiness. I think because of the earthiness of the wine, a little on the leathery side. It brings out the smoky flavor in the wine. In the meat in the burger. So that's good. I think this would go pretty good with a burger. This would go really good with a steak. Unfortunately, I don't have a steak tonight. We're not high rollers, you know what I mean? We're not rich by any sense of the word. Can't have steak every night. And you know what? Actually, steak every night would not be good for you, really. Just ask Louis the 16th, or was it Louis the 14th? Somebody, it was one of the Louis of France that ate a lot of rich food, and it didn't go well with him. So anyway, this is not a history lesson, by the way. I'm terrible at history, okay? Even my own. Okay, so it goes pretty well with the burger. That's not bad. I'm going to clear the palate just a little bit, have a little bit of water, clear the palate. And then, and Tom and Nancy say enjoy and thank you very much. I am enjoying this very much for the moment. I really am, and thank you very, very much. It looks like a good selection so far. We're going to try some other foods. So let's go back to camera 3, and let's try it. Oh, let's try it with the pizza. Now I'm going to have to grab this whole thing. It's just a thin slice of pizza. I'm going to have to cut a piece off here. There we go. Put the rest of it back on the plate. Okay, so I cut a piece of pizza off, and it's falling down. This is actually good pizza. This is from local pizza place. Not too far from Tom and Nancy, by the way. This is a good pizza, by the way. Really, really good pizza. A little chewy because it's also cold, kind of cold. It's been sitting there for close to 40 minutes. Let's see. A little chewy, but good. Very good. Oh yeah, I like it with the. And you know what I think helps this somewhat is because if you go back to camera 3 for a minute, notice that this pizza, I didn't tell you what was on it. It's cheese, but it's also ground beef. It's ground beef, which is the same thing with the burger. So it tasted very much like the burger did with the wine. So it was actually, I liked it. It was actually quite good. I think this would go really well with a pizza and with a lot of other pastas. I think on the website for the Piemonte wine, they recommended that it would probably go good with pasta, and it seems to be doing that very well right now. I'm going to clear the palate again. All right, and let's try it with some cheese. Okay, back to camera 3, and let's try it first with the. What is this? The why am I blanking out here tonight on this? I haven't had enough wine. This is the Monterey Jack. This is the Jack cheese. So we're going to try it with that, just a little piece, and I'm going to try it with a little wine. The cheese is actually very good, by the way. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not really, to be honest, the wine really, it kind of balances out the cheese. The cheese and the wine kind of balance out. They're not really, one's not really doing anything else for the other, so to speak. I think this would be fine, though, to have with the cheese. I think it's okay. Doesn't really grab me, but I think that's really more the cheese than the wine, because it's kind of a mild cheese. That Jack cheese is kind of a mild cheese. I didn't expect too much between the cheese and the wine on that one. Let me clear the palate one more time. And let's go back to camera 3 once more. And clear the throat. Let's see. Let's try it with the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. Let's do it with that. All right, Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. Never had a miss on this cheese, and it's good. This is a good cheese. And the cheese has helped a few of the wines in the past as well. Oh, yeah. This makes the cheese even creamier, which is not unexpected at all. Not unexpected. All right, let's go back to, well, let me clear the palate one more time. And then let's go back to camera 3, and let's take a look at the unexpected cheddar with parm. This should probably, that's why I want to do this one last, because I think this is probably going to be a winner. I'm just guessing now. This is good cheese, by the way. And the first time I tried it with a wine that we did a couple months ago, it was unexpected. Now I'm expecting something good. Let's see. Pretty decent. I can't really taste the Parmesan as much on this one. Like last week, we had it with what was that one we had it with last week? I don't remember now. I have to go back. Last episode, but I do remember it was pretty good with the cheese, and it really brought out the Parmesan flavor. This one doesn't really bring out the Parmesan flavor too much tonight. It actually accentuates the cheddar a little bit, which I thought, well, I guess you could say that was unexpected. I was expecting it to bring out the parm, and instead it actually brought out the cheddar. So, yeah, I guess it's still unexpected. Just never know what to expect with a cheese, I guess. All right. Well, that does it for our tasting for now. And let me go back just briefly. Let's go back to the chats and see what we've got going on. And Nancy, Tom, yes, enjoy. I am enjoying it immensely. Thank you very much. It's very, very good wine. I am enjoying this wine so far. It actually seems to be very, very good. Let me check Twitch. Anything on Twitch? Twitch is kind of quiet tonight, but we do. Once again, we have folks watching. Please chime in and tell me how you're doing. I want to know. And I'm going to have some more wine. Once again, this is kind of an open chat. If nobody's talking tonight, this could end pretty early, and everybody can go back to whatever you're doing before the show. Don't let me hold you up on my count. I mean, the show, honest. I do this for fun. And only because everybody else is in here. Zimbabwe Gaming's in the chat, and Zimbabwe Gaming says, missed the last few streams. No problem. Glad you're here, by the way. Zimbabwe Gaming, good to see you. And even though you missed the last few streams, you can always go back and catch them on the rewind, literally. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here now, and tell me how you're doing. Let's see. What else we have here? Okay, so we did the pairing with food. Ah, yes, it's time for the birthdays. We do have a couple of birthdays. Not too many this week. We just have a couple of birthdays, but we're going to go ahead and do them right now because I think it's time to do the birthdays. And let me cue the fireworks. Fireworks cued. Let's toast some birthdays. And by the way, if anyone in the chat has a birthday and you want to, or an anniversary of any sort, and you want me to toast it, I'll be happy to toast your birthday or anniversary, whatever. And put it in the chat. I'll toast it. As long as it's legit, okay? Don't make up birthdays and anniversary, but if it's a legit one, I'll toast it. And I have plenty of wine to do that with, so we're good. We're good. First birthday I want to toast is for my good friend Michael. Michael and I worked together at WOFL Channel 35. I mentioned that quite a bit because I did work there for 12 years, a long time. This is WOFL Channel 35, the Fox affiliate in Orlando, Florida. Worked there. I actually started working there when it was just an independent station, and then when it was it became a Fox affiliate, that became even better, and then it was purchased by Meredith Corporation, and we were all part of the Meredith group, and that's our history there. So Michael and I worked together. Michael worked in engineering, and I worked in film department, film, video, and things like that, and also programming and promotions. I also worked in the programming and promotions department. Anyway, Michael, your birthday is this coming Monday, the 9th, August 9th. Is Monday for 2021. It's going to be your birthday. Michael's a fun guy. I always enjoyed being around him. He was just a cool guy. I mean, he really into R&B and into blues. If you think about the best way to describe Michael in those days, I think we call him Mike, not really so much Michael, but Mike. Actually, we called him Pappy. That was his nickname around where we were, Pappy, Michael Papademos. He, I would say if I could sum him up in 2 words, I would say one of the Blues Brothers. The character that John Belushi played in the Blues Brothers. He's kind of like, he's one of the Blues Brothers, more or less. And I think he even dressed up as one of the Blues Brothers one time for one of our Christmas parties, if I remember. And he does play some music, so he's a musician also. So here's to you, Michael, Mike Papademos. Happy birthday to you. May you have many, 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 many more, my friend. And I'm going to toast you again because I have plenty of wine, only 2 birthdays to toast this week. Here's to Pappy. Mike Papademos. Happy birthday. That's from my good friend Mike. I also have one more birthday to toast, and this is really more of a memorial birthday. She passed away some years ago. I'm giving you a heads up on that. I've toasted her every year since I've been doing this wine stream, and I do it because she was a dear friend of mine. Now, I never actually met her in person. We always collaborated online. She started, I first met her when we were both doing some contract work for computerrepair.com, which became OnForce. She became part of the Force Field. I created the Force Field podcast and the Force Field, not platform, but the Force Field community with the forums and that sort of thing. And she jumped at the chance. I mean, she really jumped on board right away when I started the Force Field, and she wanted to be part of it. So I made her a mod. I made her an admin, and she was one of 3 or 4 admins that we had there on the system. And she did a phenomenal job. And she was there doing things for me when I really, I mean, when I needed to volunteer for something back on the back, and these were unpaid. These were not paid positions. They were just all volunteer. We were just all volunteers. We were just all volunteers for the force field, including me. We're all volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. But she would go in and late nights too. Sometimes she'd go in and help me work on the website and certain aspects of the website, help me troubleshoot stuff and do various things online to get the website up to speed, up to where it needed to be. And she did a phenomenal job. She was very, very dedicated, and I could tell that she really enjoyed doing this. She really enjoyed working on this. And she was just a phenomenal person, a really, really sweet lady, really nice person, and everybody loved her. I'm talking about my good friend Renee. Now, Renee passed away some years back from cancer, and we lost her way too early. And I lost a good friend and a great admin at the force field. And I wanted to give Renee a shout out to her memory. Her birthday would be this coming Monday, the 9th, also. So I wanted to give Renee a birthday greeting, a birthday toast, a birthday shout out. Here's to the memory of my good friend Renee Wright. Happy birthday. And I'm going to toast you again because you earned it. Renee, sweet lady, wonderful person, and a good friend. To Renee Wright. And that's all the birthdays I have for this weekend. Unless someone else has a birthday to toast. Any other birthdays to toast? I think we're good there, right? All right. All right, so this is what we're drinking once again. If you're just joining in, it's a Monterustico. This is a Piemonte. It is a Rosso. It's a 2017 Rosso. So far, it's pretty good. Kind of smoky, very, very earthy wine. As a matter of fact, the more that it opens up, the earthier it gets. It does get it's a little earthy, kind of leathery in a way, but it's a good kind of taste. And I'm getting a little bit more of the plum and the vanilla now, but it's a lot of strawberry, some raspberry, and I think cherry. Well, I'm sorry, a lot of cherry and some raspberry, a little bit of strawberry. But it's actually a pretty decent wine. It's good wine. I like it so far. Very good. It's hard to go wrong with an Italian wine. It really, and I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, because I'm part Italian, but Italians make great wines. The French make some great wines. In Argentina they make some excellent wines. South Africa they make some very underrated wines. In South Africa they make some good wines that are just very underrated. I've had some decent wines from Germany. I've had some from I've had some from various parts of the world that I've never visited, but I sure would like to go visit a few vineyards in some of these places because they sound like Chilean wines. Argentina. Did I mention that? Yes. And also the land down under. If I go down the land down under one of these days, if my good friends, the square guy in Darcy will have me down there to visit sometime. Down there in Australia. New Zealand. Australian wines are great, and New Zealand wines are pretty good too. And I like wines I like wine. That's the bottom line. I like wine. All right, so what have we got going on here? Like I said, it's open chat tonight. Oh yeah, we do have some national days. Let's toast the national days real quick. All right, so August 7th, for about another hour and 22 minutes. August 7th is Purple Heart Day. Well, let me pour this. There we go. I'm not paying attention. August 7th is Purple Heart Day, and that's for Purple Heart. The first Purple Hearts were issued after the Revolutionary War here in the United States, given to several well-deserving people who sacrificed, made the ultimate sacrifice in the Revolutionary War, and it's been an ongoing tradition ever since. National Purple Heart Day. It's the Purple Heart Day. It's also National Lighthouse Day. National Lighthouse. You ever been to a lighthouse? I've seen lighthouses. I helped my daughter build one as a school project out of paper, basically out of paper. A lighthouse, little kind of like a little diorama thing. But I don't think I've actually ever been inside a lighthouse. Now I've seen Pete's Dragon, and I've seen a few other movies that showcase lighthouses, but I've never actually been inside one myself. So maybe one of these days. I don't know. I've just never been in a lighthouse. I don't know. National Lighthouse Day. Lighthouses are important. You know, they're there to help steer the ships away from dangerous landings and rocks and things like that, especially in the gloom of night or in bad weather and fog and things like that. So here's to National Lighthouse Day. I'm sure lighthouses have saved many, many a sailor's life and continue to do so. Oh, goody. Today is National Raspberries and Cream Day. I don't have any raspberries. I don't have any cream, but I do have some wine that has some raspberry taste in it. So I will drink to National Raspberries and Cream Day. All right, today is also National Play Outside Day. That's the first Saturday of every month is National Play Outside Day. I stayed indoors and took a nap today, among other things. So I did not play outside, but I might play outside tomorrow if it's good. It was rainy this morning, so it was not a good day to go play outside in the morning. In the afternoon, it cleared up a bit, but in the morning, it was not that good. It was kind of bleh. So, National Play Outside Day. Did you play outside today? Today is also National Disc Golf Day, the first Saturday in August, National Disc Golf Day. It's also National Jamaican Patty Day, first Saturday in August. Now, I'm getting all these national days from nationaldaycalendar.com. Marlo Anderson's the CEO of that site. That's his site. National Jamaican Patty Day. You know what a Jamaican patty is? It kind of looks, I don't know, to me it kind of looks like an empanada, meat in it, but National Jamaican Patty. I've never had one, by the way, actually. It's also National Mustard Day today. Today is National Mustard Day. I thought about having some mustard this morning at breakfast, but I didn't. Here's a National Mustard Day. Oh, by the way, I just heard that I saw something somewhere. Where was it? That I don't know if this is for real or not, but maybe it is. That French's, French's mustard. French's has come out with a hot dog bun that's a mustard hot dog bun. I'm not sure exactly how that works. If they bake the mustard into it, or if they pre-splatter it with mustard. I don't know what the deal is, but I just saw the headline. French's Mustard has come out with a mustard hot dog bun just in time for National Mustard Day. I'll drink with that after I try one. Maybe. And today is National Mead Day. Have you ever had mead? Today is National Mead Day. So if you're drinking mead, here's a National Mead Day. By the way, if you're not drinking mead, here's a National Mead Day. August 8th, I forgot to do something. I forgot to put on the wave, didn't I? Okay, here's the wave. So I'll do the wave. August 8th, which is tomorrow, in another hour and 13 minutes, or 12 and a half minutes, or whatever it is. August 8th is Global Sleep Under the Stars Night. Yes, tomorrow is Global Sleep Under the Stars Night. Now, have you ever done that? I've been out camping, and it's quite an experience going camping and sleeping under the stars, literally. If you like camping, Global Sleep Under the Stars Night. There you go. Let's see. It's August 8th is National CBD Day. I'm talking about CBD oil? I didn't know. I don't know. It's also National Happiness Happens Day. There you go. Happiness Happens Day. Happiness does happen. And I hope it happens to you. And I hope it happens to me. I hope it's happening to all of us right now on Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. Here's to National Happy, what is it? Oh, National Happiness Happens Day. You know, I used to have a shirt. I used to have a t-shirt I used to wear at work at WFL. And it's a black shirt, and it said, in white letters, it said, doo-doo occurs. Seriously. It was one of my favorite shirts. Doo-doo occurs. National Happiness Happens Day. Okay, tomorrow's also National Frozen Custard Day. You like frozen custard? I like frozen custard. I'm not supposed to be eating frozen custard. I probably won't eat one tomorrow unless my lovely wife, Chi, decides to make some frozen custard, or we go out and get some frozen custard. But tomorrow is National Frozen Custard Day. I like frozen custard. I'll drink to that. It's also National Sneak Some Zucchini Into Your Neighbor's Porch Day. I like zucchini, but I don't know if I don't know if my neighbor likes it or not. So I don't know if I just want to throw zucchini on their porch. That's sneak some zucchini into your neighbor's porch day, unbeknownst to your neighbor. It's also National Dollar Day. National Dollar Day. I like dollars and cents. It's also National Spirit of 45 Day. Second Sunday in August is National Spirit of 45 Day. I'll drink to that. Okay, and I guess that does it for the national days. So let's be done with the turn off that. There we go. Let me check the chats one more time. I haven't been neglecting the chats. I've been giving everybody a chance to catch up with me in the chats. I hope everyone is doing well. Tom, Nancy, you're doing well tonight. And Zimbabwe Gaming. My mods are off tonight. But I'm going to give Tommy a call here in a few moments. See what he's up to. All right, so pretty much, wow, if this is the way tonight's going, it's going to be a really short show. We're at, wow, it's not even 11 o'clock yet here. We start at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's not even 11 o'clock Eastern. And I still have a little over half a bottle of wine here. I'll drink to that. Half a bottle of wine. Let me tell you a little bit about since we've got some time here. Zimbabwe says, Rick, should I go to college? Zimbabwe Gaming says, Rick, should I go to college? That's entirely up to you, whether you want to go to college or not. I mean, there are some schools, two schools of thought on college. Let me tell you something. I went to college, but I did not graduate from college. Doesn't make me a dummy. Other things make me a dummy, but not that. Actually, I think it was kind of a smart move at the time because I was spending a fair amount of money on college, and it was here's the thing, I had been working in communications, in television, for 14 years total when I left the industry, and here I was working in the field, and I was going to get a degree in communications. And I did this for a while. I worked on this for a while, and then one day people were asking me, "Wait a minute, why are you getting a degree in a field that you're already working in? You've already got a job in. You're already doing your thing. You've already made a career of, and you've put together a portfolio of your work that's more impressive than any student that's currently going to college to get a communications degree. Why are you going to college to get a communications degree?" And I started thinking about that, and I was thinking about the money I was spending, and I just got married, and I was just thinking, well, I hadn't gotten married yet. I was just about to, I think it was, she and I were dating at the time, I think, and looking at getting married, and I was thinking, wait a minute, you know what? There's something to that. Why am I getting a degree in a field that I already have a career in? What's the point? Because I was seeing some of my colleagues, some of my coworkers that had degrees in communication, and they were working there just like I was, and I didn't have a degree, and they had a degree, and here we are doing basically the same things. And I was thinking, okay, so I'm going to go to school, spend all this time, spend all this money going for a degree. Do I really need the degree at this point? See, the degrees, if you're getting into the field, the degree can help you. Now, here's the other school of thought on that. Now, my son is going for a communications degree. I'm not knocking that at all. I think he's going to do I think he's going to do very well, and I think the degree could definitely help him and open some doors for him. That, I think, is true. Okay, but for me, because I was already in the industry, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, so it depends. If you want to go to college, and particularly for a field that you want to get into. Now, there are certain things that you kind of have to go to college for. Like if you're getting into, if you're getting into law, a law degree, or if you're getting, or any kind of a medical degree. If you're going to be in the medical field, you definitely need to go to college and get proper certification and training for that. Absolutely. But for a lot of other fields, for some fields, yes, engineering, an engineering degree can be helpful. There's certain degrees that can really help you in getting your foot in the door. But if you already have a talent or a penchant for that, and you already have some experience with that, is college really necessary? You sort of have to weigh it. It's a personal choice. It's a personal choice, is what I'm saying. For me, my personal choice was that I gave it up because why? I've already reached that milestone. I'm already working in that industry. Why do I need the degree? I have the life experience. I have the life experience, and I think when you go to college, you're trying to learn to gain that experience that you don't have life experience for. Especially if you're younger, you don't have that experience, and the college degree can help you. So that gets you in the door and says, okay, I've been trained on this. I've learned how to do this, so I can qualify for that position. Whereas if somebody's been working in the industry for 10, 20 years or longer, and they already have the life experience working with doing what they're doing, what purpose does the degree serve? It really doesn't serve one, to be honest. And to be frank, a lot of employers these days don't look as closely to degrees as they did at one time. It used to be having a college degree was a gold standard for getting employment, particularly in a big company. These days, not so much, particularly with the current hiring climate, the current job climate. It's probably not as critical. But once again, my son has not worked in television or radio per se. Okay, and so the degree is going to help him, because that's the exchange. That's the equivalent of having the life experience. So the degree is good for him. For me, I already have the life experience, so do I really need the degree? And I think that's the way to look at it. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that very well, but for some people, look what happened to some of the most successful people did not even finish college. Some of them didn't even go to college, but because they were already kind of experts in their field, what they were doing, so they really didn't need it. But for some people, like Bill Gates, famously, Bill Gates didn't finish college. Let's see, a lot of these other big people did not finish their college degrees because they became successful doing what they were doing in the field that they were getting the degree for. So they no longer needed to pursue that degree. They were there. They had already arrived. They had already become successful. So the degree was no longer necessary. Does that make sense? So it's a personal choice, Zimbabwe. A good question. I think it's a personal choice. Depends on what you're going to college for. Now, if you're going, you know what? If you're wanting to pursue a field that you don't have any experience in, and you want to get that experience, yeah, go for a college degree in that field. I say, or go to trade school. Trade schools are very underrated, but the trades are very, very important, especially in this country. Having good skills and experience in a trade is vital, I think, these days, more so than before. So where are we here? Let me go back to Facebook for just a moment, and let's see. Okay. So what else we got here? Oh yes. No. Lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to tell you a little bit something that I got a few minutes. I was going to tell you something that I was doing this week. Last week I was telling how we were in a little bit of disarray here on the set of Drink with Rick because I had kind of turned my studio a little bit inside out, so to speak, because I was shooting some videos for some new products for my day job. Now, my day job, Buy Two Air Radios. That was my slip up earlier. I almost said buy2airradios.com. But Buy Two Air Radios. I'm the product manager there, and one of my jobs is to do all the content. That's my primary job there. Is to I get to play with radios all day, by the way, and my job is primarily to I had switch cameras here. Write about the radios. Promote the radios, basically write articles about them, put out a lot of support articles about them, how to use them, that sort of thing. Videos, I do all these different videos, product videos and tutorials on how to do this and that with the radios. Also the podcast, we do our podcast, the Two-Way Radio Show, which is now in its 10th year. And it was nominated for a People's Choice Podcaster Award in the tech category a couple of years ago. And we've been doing this for 10 years. And I produce the podcast. I write and co-host the podcast and produce it. And I do I wear several hats there. I put up a lot of products on the site and work on a lot of the products. On our site of Buy Two-Way Radios. Keep them updated, things like that. Do a number of things. And also I manage a lot of social media related stuff, answering questions, helping people with their issues, troubleshooting issues with radios. And the forum. We have a forum there for if you're into two-way radios or want to know more about them, we have our Two-Way Radio forum there. And I'm an admin there for that and sort of help out with answering questions and things like that with the members there. So last week I was shooting a video for a new product that we have, and this is a kind of a cool product because it's a MERS radio, a multi-use radio service. I'm not going to go into great detail and bore everybody with the technical things, but this is kind of interesting because there really aren't any mobile MERS radios out there, but this we put out, the company that the manufacturer put out a radio that is a mobile MERS radio. Kind of somewhat unheard of out in the industry. So I was putting together a promotional thing for it the last week, and I was shooting video for it, and that's why my studio was kind of all messed up last week. So we put out the video. The video has been since released. You can actually check it out if you want. You can check out. I just do a voiceover. I'm not on screen there, but I do a voiceover. But I did the video for that. It's on the Ocean KG 1000M MERS radio, mobile MERS radio. You can look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So I'm going to be shooting some more videos the coming weeks because we have some more new products coming out. So I'm going to be taking some other stuff down and moving some things around the next week or so. So just a heads up, the reason I'm mentioning all this is because this is a heads up that we're not going to be doing a show next week. Next Saturday night, we're not going to be doing a show. I'm going to need a week or so to do some of the stuff that I'm doing with other videos. So some things are going to be repurposed on here on the set, and I'm going to be doing some other stuff. So I'm going to need the equipment on the other half, the studio here, to do all that. So because of all that, I'm really not going to have time to set up to do a show next week. So we're going to give it a one week break so I can get all that stuff done. And then we should be back the week of let's see, what is the week of Saturday the 21st? We should be back. Should be back here the 21st, and that gives me a couple of weeks to get everything done that I need to get done. But just a heads up on that. Now I'll give you a last notice about that before the end of the show, just so just remind everybody. Let's see. So open chat. What else we got here? Anybody else in the chat? It's kind of quiet in the chat tonight, so I guess maybe we can end it early, and I can start my little start breaking down elements in the studio and setting them up for my video shoot there next week. Yeah, I did want to mention, speaking of radios, I did want to mention real quick, get this out of the way, that hurricane season is upon us, and we got a lot of storms. As a matter of fact, I had heard the other day that the National Weather Service has upped the number of storms. They're saying that it might actually be a little bit more active this year than they previously thought. So I think they had upped the number of named storms that they were expecting for this year. Hurricane season ends November 30th here in the States. We have had hurricanes coming up right up until the end of November, so November 30th. So that's not unheard of. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. Sometimes their hurricane season kind of really becomes more active towards September, October, November, the last 3 months of hurricane season, although we all have already had a few named storms already. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is that no matter if maybe you're not in a hurricane zone, a lot of my friends are, but if you're not in a hurricane-prone area, you still have to contend with flooding, with tornadoes, earthquakes, they happen all over the place. All kinds of mudslides, all kinds of national disasters. In California, they've had the fires going on, and after the fires, typically what happens is they get problems with mudslides and avalanches and stuff because there's no more grass and trees and flora and fauna to keep the dirt from sliding off the mountain, so to speak. I don't mean to make that a flippant statement at all. It's a pretty serious thing. So, you just want to be prepared. You really want to be prepared. The best way to be prepared is to get an emergency kit together, emergency preparedness kit together. Now, if you go to ready.gov, ready.gov, it's a government website, you can check out the emergency preparedness checklist. Download the checklist or copy down, whatever, it's fine. Use the checklist to put together an emergency preparedness kit, or what some of us call in the ham community a go bag, and have those items ready, because you never know when the disaster is going to strike. Keep one in your car. Keep a little bag in your car, because you never know where you might get stuck somewhere, especially when you're out, in an open area or in a rural area, and you get stuck somehow, and you need some of that to get by with for a while until you can get help or be rescued. This is a great radio for the car, as a matter of fact. And I've showed this to you a number of times. This is the ER310, the Midland ER310, and it's a multi-function emergency radio. It has a hand crank for emergency power, has solar power, it has a lithium-ion battery in there for battery power. It also runs off some alkalines as well. It's multiple power options. Plus, it has USB ports here. You can charge your phone up with it. You can charge whatever other device you need. It has a built-in AM/FM radio. It has a built-in weather radio with weather alerts. It has a flashlight that does an SOS thing. It even has a dog whistle on it. And you're saying, why do you need a dog whistle? Well, you need a dog whistle because, say, for instance, you get caught in an avalanche. You get buried under an avalanche or a mudslide or something like that. You put the dog whistle on, and then the searchers are out looking for you, and they got the dogs the dogs can hear, the searchers can't hear you screaming for help. The dogs can hear this. Whoops. There you go. There's the SOS. The dogs can hear this this whistle, and then they can come to locate you and rescue you. So that's what the dog whistle's for. It's a pretty cool rating on this, and really not that expensive. But if you go to buy2wayradios.com, buy2wayradios.com, you buy an ER310 or any of the other radios. We have all kinds of radios, FRS, GMRS radios, MERS radios, CB radios, business radios, if you have a business, marine radios, airband radios, and of course weather radios, GMRS radios, did I mention that? Go to buy2wayradios.com, enter the promo code SHOW at checkout, wine show, excuse me. Enter the promo code wine show, WINESHOW, and I didn't put that up there, did I? Okay, let's put it up there now. Promo code wine show. If you go to buy2wayradios.com, use the promo code wine show at checkout, you can save 5% off your entire order. That's the entire order, 5% off of everything. And it includes the accessories, all the radio accessories. So use the promo code wine show and you can save 5% off your order. Now, once again, for full disclosure, I am the product manager for buy2wayradios.com. I don't make any extra money for this, okay? They're not paying me to do this, not paid endorsement. I just I have my day job. They pay me for that. But this is just something I'm doing. My boss says, here, give your viewers and listeners a promo code and they can save some money. And that's what I'm doing. So that's all there is to that. And Scott MTHW is in the chat. Says, hey, Rick, how is it going, homie? And it's going fine. How's it going, homie? Well, it's going just fine. Scott, how are you doing? Scott says, I live in Los Angeles. Right now, we don't have to worry about anything except for the bums everywhere. Well, there's a lot to worry about in LA. That's for sure. Well, you're not having issues with the fires, I take it, but I know they've come pretty close to some areas, like around near where my sister, because my sister's in California too, and they've come pretty close to her house. A couple times, so and a lot of smoke everywhere. So and earthquakes. You got to worry about earthquakes, don't you? Don't you have to worry about earthquakes everywhere, Scott? We had an earthquake here not too long ago. A little tremor, nothing serious, nothing like what you guys get out in California, by the way. But that kind of literally shook us out of bed. That was some time back, but that was definitely unexpected. Let me see. You know what? I got to give my son a call here real quick. Tommy, you there? Let's see if he's here. He's here.
Yep, I hear it loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm just doing a radio check. Everything good on your end?
Everything is peachy keen.
Okay, do me a favor. Can you check the Twitch chat for just a minute or two?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm clear. Okay, well, that this by the way, this is one of the radios we sell. This is an Ocean. It's a KG. This is a KG 805 series radio. We have the FRS and the GMRS versions, and we have a MERS version too. By the way, those are pretty cool radios. Sometimes they're handy to have around the house because, see, here's the thing: if I keep my cell phone right here, and if I have an emergency or if I need to call somebody downstairs for something, it's cumbersome for me to use the cell phone because I have to sit there and dial a number or start texting them to send a message on. I can't sit here for 20 minutes in silence and text people. With the radios, it's instant. It's instantaneous, and just all I have to do is pick it up, press the push to talk button, and we're talking instantly back and forth. Radios are fun, good to have just within the house. A lot of people use them in their houses, in their homes, particularly in a multi-level home or in a home where, like, say, for instance, you have an elderly person, like, an in-law, grandparent or whatever on one side of the house, and or COVID patient on one side of the house, and you've got to stay away from them. They have to stay away from you. You give them a radio, and you can still communicate with them without having to holler and shout across the rooms or, between the closed doors and between the floors and that sort of thing. Radios are great. They're perfect for that sort of thing. All right, well, Scott, says, Scott MTHW says, earthquakes don't bother me a bit. I've experienced them my whole life. I don't even bother getting up or stopping what I'm doing when we have one. Yeah, and you know what? That's kind of the way we feel when we get some bad weather in Florida. When we used to, my wife couldn't take the hurricanes anymore, so she said, "Let's pack up and move." But that's kind of the way a lot of Floridians feel about the severe storms and the hurricanes. Now we are respectful. Most Floridians who have been there for any length of time are respectful of the weather, but they don't let the weather stop them in their tracks. Most of the time, it's like, another hurricane's coming. Yeah, it's it's not a good thing, but we board up, we do the usual stuff, and we leave if we have to, or we hunker down if we can, and just kind of ride that out. And I remember when I worked at Disney, having to work the ride-out crew, and it was a full volunteer effort, where they would, because they couldn't force you, especially if there was an evacuation going on, couldn't force you to work the ride-out crew, but they would ask for volunteers, and I'd volunteer because it was basically extra money. 24 hours, you're on 24 hours, but what you're doing is they're closing the parks down, they evacuate the parks, but they have to have a skeleton crew there, what they call a ride-out crew, to keep an eye on things, to tie everything down, to keep everything secured, and then to watch everything, because you had to keep an eye on it, from everything from looters to whatnot. So basically that's what we did. And 24 hours we were kind of on the job there. And it was interesting. I did it for the adventure. It was like, I was respectful of hurricanes. I mean, hurricanes, they can be pretty scary events, but I did it for the sense of adventure, and knowing that, because for the most part at Disney World, a lot of those areas are fairly secure anyway. Some of them are some areas, not all, but some areas are somewhat hurricane proof. I don't say hurricane proof like a hurricane couldn't level it, but they can withstand some very severe winds. They were built for that. So I felt, well, let me put it this way. If I was going to stay in my apartment or my home, or choose to stay in one of the secure buildings at Disney and ride out the hurricane, I'd go to Disney and ride a hurricane there. That's kind of how I felt about it at the time. So that's why I volunteered. The money was good. The money couldn't beat that. If Ed was in the chat, my good friend Anthony, if he was in the chat, he'd concur with me on that, because I think he's done it himself once or twice. So let's see. Scott says, last big earthquake did make me get up off the couch because I wanted to put my hand on the TV so it wouldn't fall down from the mantle. Yeah. I know some people do treat earthquakes there, and because they're used to it, they happen all the time. And you guys get a lot of tremors, like almost on a daily basis too. I mean, some of them are like not really noticeable, or you just kind of you just don't notice them that much, but you get them fairly often. And my sister's the same way. She'll pause if it's a really big earthquake, but lots of times if it's a small tremor, it's almost like it's part of life there. It's just a fact of life. Scott says, I've been in Michigan when they had tornadoes, and that kind of scared me because I was a wee little tyke. Tornadoes scare me too. And let me tell you something. Tornadoes are a scary thing to... I don't think anybody scoffs at a tornado. I don't think anybody dismisses a tornado. I've seen the devastation of hurricanes and tornadic activity, and I've seen. We've all seen the pictures and the videos and stuff of tornadoes. And have you ever seen the storm chasers videos? That stuff. Some of those guys are crazy, I think, running out there to meet those tornadoes. But the thing is, they're pros. They're pros at what they're doing, so they know how to skirt. Even there, they have accidents. I think they lost 2 of those storm chasers lost their lives. I think one year, it was a few years back, because they got caught up in some big tornadoes and were killed chasing these storms. So it's dangerous stuff. It is dangerous stuff. Absolutely. Let's see. Scott says, most of them we have to ask, was that an earthquake? And then we start debating it. Yeah, if they're, it's like at one point does a tremor become an earthquake, right? It's sort of a point there where okay, now it's officially an earthquake, and I think the National Geologic uh, uh, Survey Agency does the they I guess they have their own assessment as to what they consider where the line is drawn, where it's officially a tremor and where it's an earthquake. But I think everybody has their own ideas on that. So Scott says the scarier thing is getting in the ocean for a swim. I was stupid enough to do it during El Nino and had to fight to survive. We're talking about some serious undertows. Serious undertows. That's oof. Uh, yeah, undertows can really get you. Is that what we're talking about here, an undertow? Yeah. And tsunamis are pretty bad. You know, look what happened back, in Indonesia a few years ago, and in Japan. That was a major disaster, and they're still cleaning up from that with the Fukushima plant, the Fukushima, because it took out the Fukushima nuclear plant. It was a huge disaster. So yeah, Scott says yes, undertows. Yep. Yeah, undertows. Some people now, as I understand it, because I'm not a big swimmer myself, I'm just a big guy, but not a big swimmer. I think there's a way to get out of undertows, but I think you kind of have to swim with it. You to swim laterally to it or something. But I don't know for sure, so don't take my advice on that. But I understand that what happens is most people panic in a sense like that, and they get pulled under pretty quick, and that's it. Scott says there's a huge delay when you use your iPad for Twitch. Are you using your iPad for Twitch there? Twitch is not doing too bad for me tonight, although I have had some pretty big delays on it before. On my what was I going? Oh yeah, on my Android device. I keep wanting to say iPad because I used to have an iPad. I don't have it anymore, but I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab. And on my Galaxy Tab, sometimes I'll get a bit of a lag if I'm going Wi-Fi from way across the house, and the closer I get back to the router here, the better it is. But sometimes I've seen some pretty bad lags on my Tab too. Let's see. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all we got tonight. We're probably going to close this up early tonight because I don't really have anything going except maybe the open chat. I am going to give you a final review on this wine, though. Tom and Nancy, you still in the chat? I want to give my friends Tom and Nancy another shout out. Here's to you, Tom and Nancy. Thank you for this nice bottle of wine. It's turned out to be really good. And it's really, and I was right. It's smoothed out as it opened up. And this is what we're drinking. This is the Monterustico, the Piemonte. It's a Rosso. It's a 2017 Rosso. And I believe what they said in there was 40. Let me look it up because I think I still have the 40% something or other. What do we have in here? 40% Barbera, 40% Dolcetto, and 20% Nebbiolo. And that is what we have in this wine. And it's funny, it doesn't say it anywhere on the bottle. It just says it's 13.5% alcohol by volume. And I can taste a little hint of the alcohol in there on the finish, but the finish is smoothed out as well as the rest of the wine. The tannins have smoothed out a little bit too. It's there's still a fair amount of tannin in this wine, but it's not as rough as it was when I first opened the bottle. They smoothed out a bit. In fact, the whole wine is kind of smoothed out a little bit. So it's gone pretty well. Here's my final review on it. I'm still on my camera. Here I'm talking to the camera. I'm still in this bottle. That bottle, if only that bottle were still full. Where was I? Okay, so it went pretty well with the foods. I'm going to say that it went well with the, get back in camera 3, it went pretty well with the burger. I think this would be a pretty decent burger wine, although I think it'd be better with a steak. You could put a good, I don't know, say a good T-bone porterhouse on there, maybe a prime rib. That would probably be fine with it. It went pretty well with the pizza. This was a pizza with some burger. Well, with some ground beef on it. Same thing. And it went, of course, it went well with the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda, as always. It was kind of so-so with the Jack, the Monterey Jack. And it was, actually, this is a Colby Jack, I think is what it is. Colby Jack cheese. I'm sorry. I've been calling it Monterey Jack. It's really more of a Colby. But this, because this cheese is lighter. It's a very mild Colby. So it didn't really stand out. Nothing stood out with the wine. It doesn't mean it's bad. It went okay, but it didn't do anything special. But this is the unexpected cheddar with Parm. And this was interesting because in the past, when I've tried it with the unexpected cheddar with Parm, it really, a lot of the wines would make the Parmesan really stand out from the cheese. This did the opposite. This made the cheddar stand out from the Parm. So I thought that was unexpected. So anyway, that's my final review on the wine. And I think I like it. I would recommend it. I would highly recommend it. I had two things going there. There we go. Fix it. These lower thirds. I don't know. So that's my final review. I do recommend the wine. It's between $12.99 and $20. I don't know exactly, or $13.99, $20. I don't know exactly what it cost because it was a gift to me from Tom and Nancy. And once again, Tom and Nancy, I really appreciate it. I think it's a fine wine. It goes well with everything. I like it, and I would recommend it. I do recommend this wine. I would say though that if you know if you can tell me where you got it from, maybe I can pick up a couple more bottles of it. I did like it. Thank you very much. But I want to give you another toast to Tom and Nancy Fenton. Thank you very, very much for this bottle of wine to review. And by the way, it was a fair and honest review, as well as a birthday gift. Thank you. So, as I mentioned before, I guess this will do it for this show. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, unless we have any other last-minute comments or questions. Oh, yes. Tom and Nancy said $200. $200. Okay, they're saying that the bottle was $200. Really? I don't know. I looked it up. Whole Foods. Okay, so it came from Whole Foods. You picked it up at Whole Foods. Good to know. Thank you. I really appreciate that. The reason is because I'd like to go back and pick up a couple more bottles if they still have them. But if you're interested in buying this wine, I'm not selling it, but if you're interested in getting some, Tom and Nancy said that it's available from Whole Foods. So if you have a Whole Foods in your area, go pick one up. I think it's worth it. I mean, it's definitely a decent wine. Thank you. And that's my final review. Okay, so going back one more time to Twitch chat. Scott says, MTHW says, I'm a big guy too. These food delivery apps have made me fat because I get drunk and instead of doing the old norm of passing out, I use the app and order a bunch of greasy food and eat all of it. Kind of right there with you, brother. I'm trying to stay off the greasy stuff, but you know what? It's comfort food, and the more. Here's the thing about the wine, though. Sometimes I'll find myself, I'm drinking the wine, and I'm like, I have to have something to go with this, and it can't be just anything. It has to be something kind of, fatty food to go with the wine, right? I mean, I understand. Scott says, Rick, you're a really classy dude. You're